Hey y'all, Gonzo here, the Gonzo photographer. I highly doubt that you can see me right now. Stupid me. Before I go out afield, I always check and recheck, make sure I have plenty of batteries, etc. for all my photography gear. And but the two things that I count on the most for key lighting, to light my way if I'm going over rough terrain, or should I run into any type of problems with wildlife or bad guys or whatever. Those two lights are rechargeable, and though I thought I had them topped off, which I did, it was several weeks ago. So come to find out they're running very, very low, so I'm not going to waste them on lighting up my ugly mug. This is my personal journal anyway, so what can I say? This is just me talking to me. If anyone else should happen to catch this, great. While I'm sitting here waiting, I'm going to take this opportunity to just speak aloud of some questions that I get constantly asked. I don't know if you can hear in the background, a lot of frogs and water birds are chirping, and mosquitoes buzzing about. I'm getting owned by these mosquitoes. Some things I've been asked about. Guerrilla photography. What is it? What does it mean? Guerrilla photography is basically taking pictures in places where you really should not be. Now, first and foremost, let me say right here and now that guerrilla photography involves a lot of trespassing. So rule number one, rule number two, rule number 3, 4, and 5 are all the same rule. Never, ever, ever trespass on another man's land. Let me say that again. Never, ever, ever trespass on another man's land. Okay, if there's some nice piece of acreage that you would like to go out and get some photographs at, fine. You know what? Go up the driveway, go up the walkway. If there is open access during daylight hours, sometime between lunch and dinner time, like around 3 p.m., have a little bit of camera gear with you, have your business card with you, politely knock on the door, introduce yourself with your real name, no handles or nicknames, hand over a business card and say you like their land and you would like to have the opportunity to go out there after dark and take some photographs, and you're more than happy to have a chaperone, the man of the house, the youngest boy of the house, whoever. Somebody's more than willing to accompany you and assure them that you will leave nothing but your footprints, and you will bring nothing in but your photography equipment and water. And I mean that. No power bars, no granola snacks, no peanut butter cheese crackers, nothing sweet, nothing unusual. You only bring water. Not a can of beer when you're taking a break. Nothing but water. Okay, the smells, if you happen to spill a little bit of Gatorade on the ground, and no bait, don't put out bait to get Mr. Deer or Mr. Elk or Moose or whoever, or Coyote, to come around so you can get photographs. Unacceptable on another man's land. Now with that said, going back to the trespassing thing, never trespass on another man's land. If they tell you that no thank you, we're not interested, then fine, you go find someplace else. But when it comes to quote-unquote public lands, such as where I'm at right now, I'm at a place they call Pudding Stone, or affectionately known as Puddle Stone. It's a lake right on the border of LA County and San Bernardino County. Used to be very nice back in the 70s, a great sport fishing lake. It's really gone downhill since, but it's closed off to the public right now. So yes, technically I'm trespassing. When it comes to BLM land and quote-unquote public government lands, my opinion is trespass all you want, just don't get caught. If you are a U.S. citizen, a taxpayer, I say BLM can go suck my ass. I have some photographs of a moving train. Nothing unusual. Photographers love taking pictures of trains. Mine are done at night, and anyone who's familiar with the area that's seen the photographs have all said, where the heck were you when you took those pictures? Did you climb up the telephone pole? One friend of mine even said, you better not have stole the scissor lift from my work, asshole. They couldn't figure out where the heck I was standing when I snapped these photographs of an area that they totally recognize. I was on the roof of a police station. Honest truth, I was on the roof of a police station. I did not have permission to be there. I tried to go through the proper channels. I had said, hey, can I go up there? And I showed them my press credentials, my ID, my business cards, etc., etc. Showed them that I'm a legit guy, and said, you know, have a chaperone come up with me. They can watch where my camera's pointed. I just want to be up there for a couple hours, take pictures of trains going by. That's all I want to do. Absolutely not. No, you cannot do this. I cannot do it, really. On the roof of the building that I pay for? Fuck you. So yeah, without permission, I snuck up on the roof of that police station. There were cops coming and going the entire time, and I sat up there and took my photographs. That's guerrilla photography. Involves a lot of trespassing, being places you should not be, but there are limits. Never ever trespass on another private citizen's land. Don't do it. Uncool. Uncool. With that said, why am I here at Puddlestone or Puddingstone? I'm here at Puddingstone because if you want to photograph wildlife, a couple of things you should learn. Number one, go where there's water. Everybody needs water. I don't care who you are. If you're raccoon, he needs water. Deer, he does too. So does elk. That guy needs some water. So does roadrunner. Everybody. Everybody needs some water. So go where the water is, and that's where you'll find the wildlife. That's why you can hear the water birds and frogs in the background right now. Again, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm trespassing, quote unquote. My car's only about 3 miles away. But be careful. Don't get caught. Another thing I'm asked about a lot, and I'm just going to say here, talking to myself, is I often carry a gun on my person when I'm out doing my guerrilla photography stuff. The reason being is I go out in places where I really shouldn't be, and so do criminals. Okay, it's a good place to go out and party. Bad guys like to go out in the desert and such, where I spend a lot of time. I live in the southwest United States. You can't get much further south or west than where I am and still be on the lower 48. So a lot of time in the desert, and there's sharks out there. There's bad guys. So I do often carry a gun, but be careful doing so, especially if you're breaking the law and trespassing like I am, because the penalties and charges against you will skyrocket exponentially. It's no simple criminal mischief or just trespassing. You come up to criminal trespassing, and with carrying a firearm on you can be, here in California anyway, can really pose a lot more danger than it does help. I've run into mountain lion. I've run into bad guys. I, thank goodness, have never pulled my gun on another human being, but there was one occasion where these two guys actually happened to notice the gun on my hip and just kind of went, oh, so you're a cop, huh? I never said that. Okay, man. All right, get on your radio. I'll bet you can't get your friends here before we're out of here. And they left real quick. So, simple visual deterrent. That was great. But I don't even scratch my hip anywhere near my gun. I don't put my hands anywhere near it when I'm carrying one. So, I mean, that's up to you if you choose to do so. My recommendation is think it out, where you're going, what you're going to do, if you decide to do that. Getting back to wildlife photography, learn to cut trace, as they call it, or cut track, some people call it. tracking. It's really not that hard to do. Go recon an area around a river, around a lake. Find some animal tracks. The coyote, he leaves a lot of tracks. Rabbit, he does. You can find the trails where they go through the bush. Learn their footprints and study them. And it doesn't take that long. It's really not that hard to do. And you can cut track. You can cut trace pretty easily. You can tell how old they are just after a little bit of exposure. You just study it a little bit. Study these footprints, and you'll learn what animals are what and how soon they've been around. You can go find where they like to gather to go get their water. So anyway, I'm waiting for this last pass of oh shoot, there they are right there. No, that's not them. I'm waiting for this last pass of the rangers to go by before I set up my gear, because I am going to be setting off some flashes. Coyote, he's been here. Deer's been here. I saw a roadrunner, he was down there. A lot of guys moving around tonight, and I'd love to get some photographs of them. I just need this last pass of the rangers to go by before I set up my my flashes on my lighting stands and go setting off these strobes. And as soon as I get my shots, I'm going to pack up and run real quick, get off into the sticks where they can't really find me. So anyway, this is just me doing my journal report. I'm Gonzo, the Gonzo photographer, out doing some guerrilla photography stuff. And if you choose to be a guerrilla photographer, again, never ever trespass on another man's land. Quote unquote public land. Knock yourself out, man. Just don't get caught. Be safe. Take some great shots. Talk to you soon. Late.